The Kappa Sigma fraternity has a long and glorious history. Begun in the heart of Italy at the University of Bologna around 1400, and eventually arriving in America at the University of Virginia in 1869. Men in the tens of thousands have enjoyed and continue to enjoy its benefits. This video focuses on our journey through the ages, dwelling on the historic landmarks and locations relevant to all Kappa Sigmas. We begin our journey through the ages in the city of Bologna in the heart of Italy. This is the Saragossa Gate, the largest, most significant, and best preserved gate to the old city. Through this gate, many students have entered the city on their way to the University of Bologna down through the ages. This is the gate as it was originally built in medieval times and as it appeared in the 15th century. Today, of course, it is open to pedestrian traffic as well as motorized traffic, and is still one of the most used entrances into the city. Just inside the gate, we see a small park where visitors and residents can rest on the benches provided. At one time, this park was a cemetery. After passing through the Saragossa Gate, we find the cobblestone streets and the arcades that have been and are a trademark of the Old City. These arcades cover all the streets in the Old City. One could almost walk from one end of the walled city to the other in a rainstorm without getting wet. In olden times, poor students often slept under these arcades as their only protection against inclement weather. After winding our way through the streets, we come to the center of the old city and to its best-known piazza, the Piazza Maggiore. Here is found the most famous outdoor sculpture in the city, Neptune's Fountain, a famous Renaissance work of art by the Flemish sculptor Giovanni Bologna. It was completed in 1556. Dominating the Piazza Maggiore is the magnificent Basilica of San Petronio, the facade of which is incomplete. The marble base, recently restored, forms its only outside ornamentation. The construction of this marvelous church began in 1390, based on the project by the Bolognese master Antonio de Vincenzo, who is also responsible for the marble base. Its dimensions are among the most notable in the world. It is 132.6 meters in length, 60 meters wide, and 48 meters high. Originally, however, it was planned as a much larger edifice and in the form of a Latin cross. In the small museum in the rear of the building, there is a wooden model of the original design. Inside the basilica are the main altar and 22 small chapels. The interior is cavernous. The main altar is seldom used today. The small chapels were decorated by some of the most notable artists of the Renaissance, including Brunelli, Nicholas Toselli, Gandolfi, and Brizio. The stained glass windows are themselves works of art. Masses, weddings, and baptisms are most often celebrated in these chapels. It is not unusual for several of the chapels to be in use at the same time for different ceremonies. The main altar is awe-inspiring, and the two magnificent organs to the left and right are among the world's most powerful. Leaving the Piazza Maggiore, we journey to the Strada Independenza, where we catch our first glimpse of the two famous towers, Torre degli Asinelli and Torre Garibaldi. These are the landmark structures that symbolize the city of Bologna. You will observe that both towers lean. The highest tower is the Asinelli. It stands 97.6 meters tall. It was begun in 1109. It inclines approximately 2.5 meters. It is open to the public, and the top can be reached by a tortuous climb of almost 500 winding and narrow steps. In the 14th century, this tower was used as a prison. The Garibaldi is 47 meters high and inclines 3.2 meters. It was built in the same time period as the Asinelli, then considerably lowered 2.5 centuries later for safety reasons, as it was feared that it might topple. Its original height is unknown. Unlike the Asinelli, the Garibaldi is not open to the public. Immediately behind the towers is the San Bartolomeo de Reno, a famous church built in the late 17th century. It is seldom used today, and on each visit to Bologna it has been inaccessible. We now stroll downhill on Via Zamboni toward the main part of the University of Bologna and the San Donato Gate. The street was originally named the Strada San Donato, and once it passes the gate, it still carries that name. Here we see many of the buildings of the university. Many of these buildings, though now modernized, have been in use for centuries. Here's the famous School of Law built around this courtyard. It was here that Balthazar Casa studied. Of course, in those days, the law was the law of the church and not the civil law that is taught today. Casa came here and began his studies when he was a mere 13 years old. After 11 years of study, he graduated and was immediately made the chancellor of the university. The University of Bologna is the oldest university in the Western world and is today one of the most highly regarded universities in Europe and indeed the world. The schools of medicine, law, and economics are particularly well known. We now move on to Florence, where Chrysoloras also taught. It was the center of Italian Renaissance art, and today is renowned for its museums, such as the Academy, which houses, among other famous works of art, Michelangelo's stunning sculpture David, and the Uffizi, the largest of Florence museums. Florence is one of the most fascinating and beautiful cities in all of Europe, and should be included in any tour of Italy. Here's the beginning of the University of Florence. Like Bologna, most of these buildings have been in use for centuries, and Chrysoloras walked these streets and taught in these same buildings. We now come to the cathedral, or Il Duomo as it is known. It is one of the most magnificent and largest churches in Italy. In perfect architectural harmony with the cathedral are the bell tower and the baptistry. The interior of the cathedral includes work by some of the masters of the Renaissance. Begun in 1296, it was not totally completed until the early 15th century. Of primary significance to Kappa Sigmas is the baptistry. It is here, on the wall, to the right of the altar, that Balthazar Casa, or the anti-pope as he is called there, is entombed. His entombment in this place of honor fulfilled a promise by Cosimo de' Medici made to Casa after he was deposed as Pope John XXIII at the Council of Constance. We now find ourselves in the city of Constance in Germany. The city lies on the shores of Lake Constance and serves as a border between Germany and Switzerland. It has never been one of the largest or most important cities in Germany, but for a brief period of time in the early 15th century, it was the political and spiritual center of Europe. Over 60,000 people poured into the city for the Council of Constance, called to heal the schism in the church and to decide who was the true pope. One important figure never made it to Constance. Chrysoloras was on his way to the city but died a few miles from his destination. Here we see the Hotel Insel, one of the finest in Germany. At the time of the council and for many years thereafter, it was a Dominican abbey. It was here that Chrysoloras was buried with full church honors in the garden, which is seen here. There is no way to locate the exact spot of the grave. We only know that his remains lie in this area. Inside the Hotel Insel, there are murals on the walls of the ground floor depicting some of the history of the city. One of the largest murals, seen here, depicts the funeral of Chrysoloras. The inscription at the bottom of the mural says in German, "The burial of Greek scholar and diplomat Manuel Chrysoloras during the Council of Constance, April 25, 1415. We now cross the Atlantic and visit Charlottesville, Virginia. This is the university designed by Thomas Jefferson. The rotunda, which serves as the most common entrance to the university, copied a design by the Italian architect Palladio. This is the famous lawn of the university. The dormitory rooms on each side of the lawn have been used as student housing from the very beginning of the university. Today, it is still considered an honor to be chosen to live on the lawn, even though it is devoid of many of the modern conveniences. Students heat their rooms with a fireplace and must go some distance to utilize a bathroom. It is here at 46 East Lawn that on a blustery evening in December of 1869 that the five friends and brothers, George Miles Arnold, John Covert Boyd, William Grigsby McCormick, Frank Courtney Nicodemus and Edmund Law Rogers met and officially formed the Kappa Sigma fraternity. A constitution was adopted, and Kappa Sigma was born in America. 46 East Lawn has been immortalized as the birthplace of our order. Today it is still occupied by a Kappa Sigma. Each year, a member of Zeta chapter is chosen to reside in the room. Now we travel to the hometown of the man whose name is virtually synonymous with the name Kappa Sigma. It is, of course, Abingdon, Virginia, the home of Stephen Alonzo Jackson. Here, the golden-hearted Virginian lived in this beautiful home with his wife and raised his family. It is from here that he traveled much of the country, spreading the message of Kappa Sigma and founding new chapters. This home has survived through the years, and today is one of the most beautiful homes in Abingdon. In 1992, it was restored to its former glory and was used as a bed and breakfast inn. Only a short walk down the street is the Presbyterian church where Jackson and his family worshipped. It, too, survived the years and is remarkably beautiful. In the center of Abingdon is the Sinking Springs Cemetery. It is here that Brother Jackson was laid to rest on March 7, 1892. His wife of many years is buried beside him. His tombstone bears the Star and Crescent, which was so meaningful to him throughout his lifetime. He is revered by Kappa Sigmas as is no other brother. One of the most prestigious awards given by Kappa Sigma is the Stephen Alonzo Jackson Award, which is given once each biennium at Grand Conclave to a volunteer chosen by the Supreme Executive Committee. The final leg of our journey takes us back to International Memorial Headquarters, the perpetual home of Kappa Sigma. It is here that the Kappa Sigma staff is housed. It is here that membership records are maintained, and it is here that much Kappa Sigma memorabilia is displayed. We begin in the archives room where correspondence and other information is kept for every chapter on the continent. Visitors can discover many things concerning the history of their chapter by perusing these volumes. The Worthy Grand Master's room, dominated by the portrait of Founder McCormick, contains the picture of every Worthy Grand Master from the beginning of the order to the present day. In other rooms can be viewed an unparalleled collection of Kappa Sigma memorabilia, including badges and other items of interest collected throughout the ages. A few paces from the main building stands the Leadership Training Center. Here, meetings are held, visiting chapters are housed when they visit, and chapter consultants are housed when in Charlottesville. This facility, when not being used by Kappa Sigma, is made available to civic groups in the Charlottesville area for meetings and events. On the walls of the model chapter room, we find portraits of the 5 friends and brothers. Also on these walls are displayed portraits of all Kappa Sigma Men of the Year. As we close this journey through the ages, let us take a brief journey across the continent. Kappa Sigma, beginning in America in 1869, has spread from here, Zeta chapter at the University of Virginia, throughout the land, including Alpha Beta chapter at Mercer University, Xi chapter at the University of Arkansas, Delta Chi chapter at Mississippi State University, Phi chapter at Rhodes College, Alpha Upsilon chapter at Millsaps College, Theta-ZETA chapter at Eastern New Mexico University, Beta Omega chapter at Colorado College, Epsilon Nu chapter at the University of Southern Mississippi, Epsilon Pi chapter at the University of Memphis, Mu Lambda chapter at the University of Calgary in Calgary, Canada, and hundreds of other locations throughout the continent. Though diverse in geographical location and membership, there is a common thread throughout the continent and down through the ages. The Star and Crescent shall not be worn by every man, but only by him who is worthy to wear it. He must be a gentleman, a man of honor and courage, a man of zeal yet humble, an intelligent man, a man of truth, one who tempers action with wisdom, and above all else, one who walks in the light of God.